The motion is adopted.
It's a deal. Congress approves an historic bailout bill, but is it a big enough Band-Aid to fix the ailing economy?
We have acted boldly to help prevent the crisis on Wall Street from becoming a crisis in communities across our country.
With the stock market down 33% in 1 year, the Congressional Budget Office reports almost $2 trillion in Americans' retirement savings have been lost over the past 15 months.
It's about the people who need those services and that credit. It's about people retiring who need to have assurances about the value of their investments and their assets. Again, I think if this is not done, that it will be of significant adverse consequences for the average person in the United States.
But top executives at insurance giant AIG apparently haven't felt the pain. They took a week-long retreat at the St. Regis Resort in California after taxpayers spent $85 billion bailing out the company. The cost, $440,000, including $23,000 for spa treatments.
They were getting their manicures, their facials, their pedicures, and their massages, while the American people were footing the bill.
CEO Martin Sullivan was forced out this summer after record losses. He received a $15 million golden parachute.
This callous abuse of trust of hardworking Americans' savings, it's just so disgusting. It's hard to put into words.
Mr. Secretary, when do you expect our economy to finally hit bottom?
In terms of your specific question, I don't have an answer for you there, other than to say that which is where Duke started off, which is, you know, our economy. You know, we're a strong entrepreneurial nation. We're a rich nation. We have the resources. We have the tools to deal with this. My focus is really on the financial system stability, getting credit flowing again, because that's going to be the key. When credit is flowing, when the credit markets away from the banks are working, we will have a stronger economy, and housing, you know, the housing prices stabilize. And so I think we're going to have some challenging months in here, but we're going to work through this. But I can't give you a date. Yes, sir.
It was a frantic day down here, and while the markets did manage to rally back, the Dow still closed below 10,000 for the first time in 4 years.
It's now fallen nearly 30% since then.
Agonized investors sent stocks plunging once again Wednesday. Two disheartening reports convinced Wall Street that a recession, if not already here, is inevitable. Stocks quickly tumbled following that statement and accelerated in the last hour of trading, wiping out most of Monday's record gains. The Dow Jones Industrial Average plunged 733 points to close at 8,578. Broader indexes also were pummeled. The S&P 500 closed down 90 points at 908, and the Nasdaq dropped 151 to end the day at 1,628. Investors apparently have come to believe that Monday's response to the government's plan to invest $250 billion in banks was overdone, and that much more needs to be done to revive the economy.
It was just another surreal day on Wall Street, a day that started with a key measure of consumer confidence hitting an all-time low and ended with a nearly 900-point rally on the Dow, the index breaking back through 9,000.
We've had some pretty bad news, and the consumer confidence was pretty grim this morning. So I'm amazed that it was able to be shaken off as well as it was.
The markets also shrugged off more bad housing numbers, which revealed the average price of a home in the country's 10 biggest cities has fallen nearly 18% over the past year. But Wall Street may have been looking forward to the Federal Reserve, which is expected to cut interest rates tomorrow.
A litany of bad economic news has snuffed out Wall Street's 5-day rally as investors realize anew how troubled the U.S. economy really is. Confirmation that the nation's in a recession, the Dow Jones Industrials average fell 680 points.
New government data indicates the economy is falling deeper into recession. Consumer prices plunged in November by 1.7%, the largest amount on records going back 61 years.
The most difficult reminder that we're in a recession came this week in the form of new job loss numbers. Weekly jobless claims hit a 26-year high, with companies quickening the pace of cuts.
The job market is in complete disarray.
Bank of America will drop up to 35,000 positions over 3 years. The world's third largest mining company, Rio Tinto, 14,000 jobs. Sony, 8,000, and Yahoo, 1,500.
Many of us were told in private conversations that if we voted against this bill on Monday, that the sky would fall, the market would drop 2,000 or 3,000 points the first day, another couple thousand the second day, and a few members were even told that there would be martial law in America if we voted no.
3 years, 20,000 more U.S. troops, but not to Iraq or Afghanistan. According to Pentagon officials, these men and women will be stationed inside of the U.S. Thousands of additional uniformed men and women said to be trained by 2011. They'll serve as a response to a possible mass terror attack or civil unrest following an economic collapse. So how concerned are Americans about this?
20,000 more troops here in the U.S.?
I have not heard any of that, actually. No, I have not. First time I've heard of it.
Well, scientists don't think it's such a good idea.
These are your citizens. They deserve your protection, but not to the extent that it becomes a militarized police state. I think we've had 8 years of that, and I think that's more than enough.
New questions tonight about an Army combat brigade being trained to deal with civil disturbances in the United States. The Posse Comitatus Act of 1878 generally prohibits federal uniformed services from carrying out domestic law enforcement duties, except in cases expressly authorized by the Constitution or an act of Congress. Critics say the brigade's training goes against one of the founding principles of our country, separation of military and civilian government.